Okay, let's go.
Ready?
Hello, Bots and Books fans, this is Scorp1701, and tonight we are going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Gamerverse Psylocke vs. Thanos. Or you could call this the Capcom vs. Marvel, but there's legal issues and you can't really call it that. But that is what it is, and that's where these figures come from, the old arcade game. So taking a look at the awesome packaging, you can see it's in a huge open window box. You have Marvel Legends up here, Marvel Gamerverse here, warnings, you have Psylocke and her accessories, you have Thanos and his accessory, and you have 4 Plus, Psylocke versus Thanos, Hasbro. On the top, you have Marvel Gamerverse. On the left side, you have Marvel Legends in a picture of Psylocke as she appeared in the game, and her figure, and Psylocke. On the right side, you guessed it, Gamerverse. You have a picture of Thanos as he appeared in the game, and his figure, and Thanos. On the bottom of the box, you have some awesome credits for the box, and a nifty little barcode, and I will get in real close on that because this is a figure that everybody's going to want to get, and everybody knows why, and we'll discuss it in a minute. But anyway, taking a look at the back of the packaging, you have at the top Marvel Legends and a read-up of what's going on, so we can pause the video there, read that to your heart's content, but we must be scrolling down. And here you can see your energy bar and your fellow teammates. And the figures, and some more credits for the box at the bottom. And that is going to be Psylocke and Thanos in the packaging, but I don't want to see Psylocke and Thanos in the packaging. I know you don't, so let's get these out and see who finishes who. And here are the combatants out of the packaging. And out of the packaging, starting with Psylocke, she comes in at 6 inches tall. She comes with a lot of accessories here. Moving over to Thanos, Thanos is 7 3/4 inches tall, and he comes with the Infinity Gauntlet, which is really the only accessory you'd ever need. And also in the packaging, you have this awesome backdrop with a grid field. You got some green and blue squares there that you can stand the figures in front of, and that looks cool. Now, when we have a review that features 2 awesome figures, I have to figure out which one to do first, and in this particular case, I think we're going to go ahead and deal with the Mad Titan first. And coming in real close on Thanos' head sculpt. Now, this is a very nicely done Thanos head sculpt. Definitely looks like the Mad Titan. He has his nice orange and blue helmet, and you can definitely tell that this is inspired from the Marvel vs. Capcom game because the points on the helmet are exaggerated all the way up here. Now, a normal Thanos helmet would come to maybe about here and be cut off, but this is how he looked in the game, and I think they nailed that feature. The helmet itself is done in mostly blue. You do have this orange stripe going all the way down the back and to the base of the head. You do have some orange plates on the side of his head where his ears are, I'd imagine, to give some protection there. And then his face is a nice purple with the dark red eyes outlined in black. Looks very creepy. Little nose sculpted in there and a big teethy grin coming down to his lined chin. That is also a very trademark look for Thanos. And as we scroll out so we can see the upper torso, He does have some nice orange shoulder armor going across the entirety of his shoulders, and that will be glued to the body. The bodysuit is mostly this dark blue. You do get the orange line going down the middle to the skirt piece, and this is a single piece also glued to the body. It is bordered in orange and it has the same color blue in the inside, so that's nice. Arms are blue, and then you come down to the forearms and the fists, which are done in these big huge gauntlets, and a lot of good detail and fist molded there. And then you come down to the middle section, and then his crotch has some line work, and then there's some detail in the legs, all done in blue, until you get down to the bottom and you see these big honking orange boots, and they are very, very thick. Coming to the bottom, you got some copyright material on the bottom of the feet with some peg holes if you want to post him somewhere, and that is it. Coming to the back of the figure, nothing that you would not expect for him to have. The colors do go all the way through, no change-ups here, and that is what your Thanos is going to look like. Very nice Thanos figure indeed. All right, moving on. And for articulation, starting at Thanos' head, the head can go around 360 degrees. You can look down just a little bit until the shoulder armor hits the chin, but you can look up a long way, so that is really nice. You do get wiggle waggle left and right in the head. That's good movement there. Coming to the shoulders, shoulders can come up from the body and then back down. They can go around 360 degrees. The shoulder armor does not get in the way because it's cut at an angle, and it's soft enough for the arm just to go through it. Coming down the arm, you do have a bicep rotation, 360 degrees there. It is a little tight and large, so it'll take a little effort to move it, but it moves. Coming down to the elbow bend. Now the elbow bend is sandwiched between this large gauntlet and the bicep, so it's not going to get 90 degrees. You got about 45-degree angle there, but it does bend, and that is really nice. And that is built into a forearm rotation, 360 degrees there. Coming down to the gauntlet itself, there is no movement in the upper gauntlet, but then the hand will go around 360 degrees. It will hinge inside and then out, and that is really nice. I like that. Coming to the center of the body, he does have an ab crunch that will let him go forward and back. There is a ratchet in there, so you can hear that click, click, and pop. That is good. Coming to the waist, behind the skirt piece, you do have 360 degree waist articulation, so he gets around. And coming down to the legs, legs can move up a little bit, not too much. Can't move back because the butt gets in the way, and they can move out to the side. There is a slight cut in the skirt piece, so it can give a little bit to get the leg out. All right. Coming back down to the leg, you do have 360 degree thigh rotation all the way around. That is good. And most surprisingly of all, you do have a double hinged knee joint that gets his foot all the way back there. Now that is pretty impressive for a larger figure to be able to get your knee double jointed like that. That is cool. All right, put that back. There is no boot cut, as it were, right here, although I think it should be, because it looks like it's cut right there, but there's not. And that will bring us down to the foot, and the foot can hinge forward or up and then back, and then it can rock around the world 360 degrees. So yeah, a lot of good articulation for Thanos here, and yeah, I like it. There's not much that he can't do that you would want to get him to do, especially when it comes to like fighting, which that's kind of the purpose of these figures in this line, is that they're going to be fighting each other. So he needs to be able to move and bend and do all sorts of cool stuff. All right, and that is Thanos's articulation. Moving on. And for Thanos' accessory, he comes with an alternate infinity gauntlet hand that is molded in the snap form, and that is really neat. And as you can see, these Infinity Gems do appear as they did in the comic and not the movie. That's why you have the Soul Gem here being green instead of orange. And if you'd like a quick reference of what they were in the comics, here you go. So you can see the different ones and where they're placed on the glove. So that is really neat. And you can wear this and pretend like he's snapping and about to really mess up somebody's life. So I don't know. I think maybe this whole game fighting arena thing could be Thanos' idea, since he has the reality gem and he wants to change reality and he wants to see everybody fight. So yeah, we may have Thanos to thank for this whole thing. But anyway, that is his accessory, the Infinity Gauntlet hand. Moving on. And for comparison, after bringing this one up from the Bots and Books Museum, we can see in the box, of course, because I'm not going to take him out, there are a lot of similarities with this Thanos and this one. First off, the head has been remolded, so it's not the same head. The shoulder armor is different as opposed to this shoulder armor, which is smaller and doesn't go up as far. The body, though, is going to be the same because you still have the same details, and the little paint apps under the shoulder here are present here, but they're not painted. And then you have the same skirt piece here, the same crotch piece, and the same legs, and I assume the same boots. Now, the gauntlets are going to be different because they've been remolded here on the forearm part of the gauntlet. So that is a difference. This accessory he has here, the snap with the Infinity Gauntlet, that is the same as this one, just done in orange. And actually better colored Infinity Gems. These are nice metallic, and these are just the flat colors. So yeah, this is really nice. So that is going to be your comparison with the Infinity Gauntlet Thanos. They are basically the same, but you can't blame Hasbro for just using the same parts of the same character's body just to give him a different paint job. And for comparison, here you have Thanos with the Eric Masterson Thor, Adam Warlock, Juggernaut, and the Destroyer. And these are a vast range of Marvel Legends, starting with Warlock being the normal scaled one, and then Thor, who's a god, so he would match up well with Thanos, the Mad Titan. And then you have the deluxe Marvel Legends, Juggernaut, and the Destroyer. So yeah, Thanos is a pretty big boy comparatively, and he should be. He is the Mad Titan. He looks good with all of these guys. All right, moving on. And that has been our look at the Mad Titan Thanos, which brings us to his opponent, the darling of the set, the mutant ninja, Psylocke. And I can guarantee you the reason that this set is already going over $200 on eBay is not because of Thanos. Alright, scrolling in real close so we can take a look at Psylocke's beautiful, beautiful head sculpt. Oh my goodness, look at the great job that Hasbro did molding this head sculpt. I love it. That is so beautiful. Let's get a little bit of light in there. It's dark, so too much. Let's try bringing it down just a little bit. All right, so taking a look at this head sculpt. Wow, that hair is amazing. It is done in black and purple, and it goes throughout the head, and that is just beautiful. See how it goes all the way down? Let's scroll back just a little bit so we can see that the hair goes all the way down to the middle of her back and just goes off in a wave. I love that. A little more purple here at the tips, and if you look in the back underneath the hair, it is all purple, so that is really cool. I love the way they did this hair. It looks really good. Let's go back and focus on her face. Beautiful, beautiful eyebrows and eyes, nice sharp nose, red lips. I love that. I don't see any particular blush, so her face is just a standard flesh tone. I love that. Let's scroll out some more so we can take a look at the center of her body going up to her torso. And she is in her standard dark blue ninja outfit that goes down the center of her body. She does have some costume strips on the upper bicep, and then her forearms is completely covered coming down to her hand, which is fingerless gloves. And that is cool on both sides. Her midsection, she has a beautiful purple belt with an X. I love that. Some nice fleshy legs. Some more costume strips there. Can't imagine that's easy to get on, but they are kind of done in the shape of an X. Maybe that's why they designed it like that. She's an X-Man. And coming down right above her knee, they start with these very long boots that cover down to her feet, and those are really, really nice and beautiful. Coming to the bottom of her feet, she has some copyright material and some peg holes if you want to post her anywhere. And coming to the back of the figure, there is nothing that you would not expect. She has some colors that go all the way through coming to the back. So yeah, very, very beautiful sculpted figure. And it has been a long time since we got a Psylocke in this particular costume. And that is why this particular figure is going to break the bank if you can't find it on the shelves. And that is what Psylocke looks like. And it is beautiful. All right, moving on. And for our articulation, starting with Psylocke's head, it can go around 360 degrees. It is a bit challenging because of the long hair, but you can do it. But she doesn't really need to have her head go around 360 degrees because that would break her neck. Anyway, she can look down a long way. She can kind of look up, not too much because, again, the hair is going to be hitting against the back, so it can't get that far up. She does get some wiggle waggle left and right. That is nice. Coming to her shoulders can come up from the body and then come back down. They can go around 360 degrees and hinge in and back on a butterfly joint, so that is really nice. Coming down her arm, she does have a bicep rotation, 360 degrees there. Coming to a beautiful double hinged elbow bend, so she can get a lot of good motion in and out. But because of the double hinged elbow bend, you do not get a forearm rotation. That's okay. Coming down to the fist can go around 360 degrees, and it is hinged, so it can come in and out, up and down, depending on where you have it. Coming to the center of the body, she does have an upper diaphragm rotation, which will give her 360 degrees right up here, and then it will kind of let her wiggle waggle, go left and right, forward and back a little bit, so that is really good. Coming down to her waist, she does not have any waist articulation, but she does have an ab crunch hinge, so that will let her go forward and then back, and there is one little bit of a ratchet in there, so you can kind of hear that ratcheting, click click click, so that is pretty nice. Coming down to the legs, now the legs are built kind of funny. They are built kind of in front of the hip, so there's not really a hip that the legs go into like most figures. Kind of built on the outside, but with that being the case, the legs can go forward a long ways, but it cannot go back because the butt gets in the way, and it can go out to the side. But as you can see, like I was saying, because it's built in front of the hip, or instead of having like an actual hip port, it kind of looks funny because you have this big gap there when you kind of put the leg out to the side. But I still think it's a lot better than the last one we had. Coming down, you do have thigh rotation right here at this thicker band. If you go, that's actually the point where it goes 360 degrees around, coming down to a double hinged knee bend, and that is great. Love that motion. And that will bring us down to the foot, and the foot is hinged, so it go down, it can go up, and it could rock around the world 360 degrees. So that is pretty neat. And that is going to be Psylocke's articulation. A lot of good stuff that she would need for being a mutant ninja. Yeah! And fighting Thanos. Alright, moving on. And for Psylocke's first accessory, she comes with this alternate angry head. It is a very nicely done head. You got the same beautiful flesh tone, the eyes and the nose, but now her mouth is open and she's got gritted teeth and she got her ears, and then you can see her hair is flowing out to the side. And still got that beautiful purple on the underneath and the black and purple wash on the outside. So that is very nice, and she looks good with this head on. She's very angry, definitely ready to fight. So yeah, I appreciate it. Alright, and that is her alternate head. And the next accessories that Psylocke comes with is a pair of alternate hands, and they are molded in the shape of her being able to use her powers by putting her 2 fingers on each hand up to her forehead so she can summon her abilities or read people's mind or whatever. And then she has an alternate grabby hand in case she wants to get up, grab you, and spin you around and kick you around. So that would be really fun. And those are her alternate hands. And moving into Psylocke's energy effects, she has this little butterfly looking thing, and this will attach to her head. As you can see, it does have what appears to be like a glasses handle right here, and she does have a right ear on her angry head, and on this side there are 2 little attachments that can stick between her temple and her hair, and it fits really well. And this piece will work on the non-angry head. You just have to pull the hair back on the right side of the head to get the little sunglass handle back there and kind of attach it to the loose strand of hair on the other side. So yeah, it looks good on both heads, and it gives her that butterfly effect that she gets when she uses her powers, and it does look really neat. And coming to Psylocke's next energy accessory, she comes with her psychic knife, and this is really nicely done in the same pink plastic that we got the little butterfly effect in, and it's kind of translucent so you can kind of see through it, and it will attach to either of her wrists with this little clip section right here. It just snaps right on there, and it looks like she is stabbing or got her knife out, and she can plunge it into people's head and mess with their thoughts and their heads and stuff like that, because that's what she does. She's a psychic ninja, and yeah, this is pretty cool little effect, and that's Psylocke's psychic knife. And for Psylocke's final energy accessory, she comes with a pair of these effects. Now, they are very similar, but the molding is slightly different. And this is to homage the move in the game where she can go into a full spin and have her fist flying and psychic energy getting thrown all over an opponent. And that is really cool. And you will attach these to her wrist using these little clips right here on the back. Here's one, and the other is right here, and you may have a little trouble attaching them. They may not want to stay, but if you use the psychic 2 fingers, you might be able to put them into these little slots, and it will kind of affix on the hand a little better. But once you get them, they'll stay pretty good, and you can pose her in all sorts of ways, having her psychic explosions blast everywhere. It's a kind of a busy accessory, I guess you could say, and it's okay, but it's not something that I would use because it just doesn't look neat and tidy. It's just big, huge explosions of psychic energy, I guess, and that's what it's supposed to be. But anyway, that is her final accessories, and we will be moving on. And for comparison, here you have the Gamerverse Psylocke with the 2018 Apocalypse Build-A-Figure Psylocke. And as you can see, the Apocalypse Psylocke was in need of an update. It's 7 years old, and there has been a lot of cool toy advancements done in that time. So, starting off, taking a look at the head sculpts of both of these. The Gamerverse head sculpt looks a lot more realistic as opposed to the comic looking head sculpt of the Apocalypse Psylocke, and at the time that was a pretty good head sculpt. And coming down to the shoulders on the Gamerverse have been completely redone to include the butterfly joint as opposed to just the straight up and down slenderness of the Apocalypse Apocalypse Psylocke, which again at the time was pretty good. Coming to the center of the body, the proportions on the Gamerverse are bigger. They both have the diaphragm rotation. The waist and the thighs on the Gamerverse are again bigger, and that will stabilize the figure a little better. As we scroll out to see the full stature of the figures, they are approximately the same height. But, as you can see, I have a base on the Apocalypse Psylocke because she has trouble standing because her legs are really shaky. But, again, due to the increased proportions of the legs and the middle torso of the Gamerverse, the new Psylocke stands really well. So, those are a few of the obvious changes and updates for the Psylocks. And this is why, again, this Psylocke is going to go like crazy. So turning around, checking out the back, there isn't really a lot of differences than what I've already pointed out with the larger arms and midsection and legs. So yeah, just to get a comparison of both of those. And yeah, I'm very happy to get the new Psylocke because, again, the 2018 Apocalypse Psylocke was definitely in need of an update. And full comparison with some other X-Women, here you have the Gamerverse Psylocke with the Retro Series Storm, the Love Triangle 3-pack Jean Grey, the Target exclusive retro carded Rogue, and the Caliban Build-A-Figure Jubilee. And these were all the beautiful X-Women that were running around the main X-Men titles in the 90s, and I love that Marvel Legends has given us great renditions of each of them. I think the Storm over here is in need of an update, and maybe I think they've updated Jubilee for the 97 series, but I'm not going to get her. I think this is still a great Jubilee. But for the most part, yeah, love these X-Women. And full comparison with a great picture day opportunity, here you have the Blue Strike Force from the 90s. And this is a great looking group of X-Men. I love this. It has taken so long to accumulate this set of figures, but again, I'm very happy that Marvel Legends has provided us this awesome looking team. Alright, and that has been your comparisons. Moving on. And this has been the Marvel Legends Gamerverse Psylocke vs. Thanos. Or the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. But again, we can't say that because there's legal issues. But anyway, talking about this set, this is going to be an awesome set. It is a Target exclusive, and the figures in this set are great. So, talking about Thanos first, it is a Thanos. He has a great sculpt and mold. I love the colors on him. They're very bright and vibrant. The head deco gives him away as the Marvel vs. Capcom Thanos because of the really tall points on his helmet. His articulation is good, nothing he can't really do, and he's basically just a slight remold of a previous Thanos figure, but I still think it's really good, and if you don't have a Thanos, he will work just fine if you cut down those little horns on his helmet. As far as accessories, the Infinity Gauntlet hand is alright, and I love that they painted the gems in a metallic coloring as opposed to just the matte coloring. It makes them pop a little more. And that's pretty much it for Thanos. There wasn't much more you could do with him. And now, moving again to the darling of the set, the figure that is making this set go over $200 on eBay, the newly updated Psylocke figure. And she is gorgeous. Her sculpt and mold are just beautiful. Her paints are fantastic. Her costume is brighter and more vibrant. The purple in her hair is good. I think they did miss a little bit at the bottom with the black wash, so it does kind of look a little odd, but the bottom of her hair is just all purple, but it does match the underneath, so that is a nitpick I can live with. Her articulation is outstanding. The newly added butterfly joint, the waist, the ab crunch hinge, and the larger proportions definitely make her a lot more stable in order to move around and stand and pose. So this is a great update. The accessories that she comes with, very practical. The alternate hands are good. The energy effects, great. Could have done without those really big ones, but those were game specific, even though they look kind of crazy. So again, great set, really love it, and I highly recommend it because you're going to want to have that new updated Psylocke. But so is everybody else, and that is going to be the problem with this set. It is going to be very hard to come by. This is, again, a Target exclusive. I will put the DPCI numbers up on the screen, so if you take these numbers right here and plug them into your Target app, it will tell you where the set is available. And if you go into the store and you give these numbers to an employee, they could look it up. Now, I will tell you that the app isn't always 100% accurate. So if you're at a Target, go ahead and ask the employees to pop those numbers into his little machine and see if they are in the back. These numbers were very helpful in helping me obtain this set. I gave them to an employee. He said, well, we're going to have some in on Friday. I arrived at the store Friday morning at 8 a.m., walked in there. There were 4 of these on the shelves. I grabbed up one and was very happy. So, yes, these numbers do work, and I hope they help you. If you are interested in picking up this set, it will go for $60 on the shelf, a lot more anywhere else. So if you're looking, happy hunting. And that's it, guys. That is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great night. And until next time, keep playing. And thank you once again for watching the video. If you would, like and subscribe to Bots and Books. And if you feel like supporting the channel even further, please consider joining one of our awesome channel clubs. We have the 99-cent tip club, the $4.99 coffee club, and the $9.99 lunch club. By joining these awesome clubs, you get some special perks to the channel, and we are working on getting some cool merchandise for the channel out to you. So if it's in your power and something that you'd like to do to support Bots and Books, we'd love to have you. And stay tuned because we have some more great new toy reviews coming up soon. See you later.